What's up, Carcosa? I'm Paradomics, and welcome back to the testimony of Trixie Glimmer Smith. So in the last video, we've seen some creepy shit. Like a lot of spooky stuff is starting to happen. So anyways, here we go. I forgot where we went off. Oh yeah, we're with Belle, and we're delivering milk, and we saw an effigy faced at us. Directly at us, suspiciously at us, and it's just the wind. Yeah, the wind perfectly faced the freaking effigy towards us. Yeah, I'll believe that. That's totally believable. This game's so full of shit. Anyways, here we go. We trundled along North Acres dirt roads a while longer, stopping at the occasional secluded cottage to drop off a bottle of milk. I was thankful that Belle never had to walk off up any long drives without me. Oh, is that it? We're done now? Oh, no wait, I forgot we're going to Greg's. Hey, Greg. Hi, Belle. Trixie. How are you two doing? Bad as always. I've been taking Trixie along on the milk run. Wow, sounds exciting. I ended up getting a bunch of cupcakes, and I think Belle got a coffee and like 20 vegetable rolls or something. So, Greg, I was hoping everyone would be down to the Antique Mouse tomorrow night. You two want to come along? Oh, geez, I'd love to, Belle, but I have some stuff going on tomorrow night, though. Ooh, anything fun? No, really boring stuff. Yeah? What you doing? Greg's face blanked for like 10 seconds. I was about to ask if they were okay when they finally spoke up. Tax! It's almost the end of tax year. I'm gonna drink 15 energy drinks and work out all my tax return. Something ain't right here. Is Greg okay? Neither me or Belle knew enough about tax to question that. Though Greg's eyes flitted back and forth, guilty, and they looked like they might have been breaking out into a nervous sweat. I have a feeling that Greg has been stealing a bunch of stuff. I don't know, because again, for a business that's not doing so well, and for him to say that 2 customers is a busy day, I feel as though that he's been stealing money to keep his business afloat. I don't know, it just feels like it. Because the way Belle's questioning Greg, and the fact Greg has financial problems, I don't think Greg's being honest with us here. I figured maybe they were fiddling with the book. Naughty. That's too bad, Greg. What about you, Trixie? I wanted to, but I better check on Nikita. I was pretty pissed that someone I basically hate had become someone I felt responsible for looking after. Sorry, Belle. I have to do my coursework tonight. It's due pretty soon, and I haven't really started. Dang, that's a shame. Hopefully Hattie and LaRose can come along. Or it's just me by myself again. Oh well, I'm sure I can hit some cuties if that happens. She forced a smile. I think she was a little sad. Well, I feel as though Belle's really lonely. Just wants a friend. Aw, that sucks. Right, Trixie, let's get you back to uni. I don't want to get in the way of your degree. Off we go! Back to uni. Oh, wow. Is this like an outside area, or are we like inside the school? I don't know. I was pretty glad to be back. It was getting way too hot outside. So, Trix, you want to come out again? You just let me know, okay? For sure, Belle. Thank you for taking me today. It was really interesting and creepy. Wait, why hasn't she told Belle about the effigy facing towards her? But then again, she just deducted it off and wrote it off as like the wind blew it, so I guess it makes sense to why she wouldn't bring it up. Belle gave me a wave and sped up as fast as her rickety float can manage, which is admittedly very slow. According to Poppygon.com, Cyber Draculias from Mars was getting a reboot, so that was cool. Cyber Batraiser had a new design, somehow even hotter than the old one. Irrelevant, sorry again. That was pretty exciting news, but pretty soon that night took a turn for the worse. I had a nice day with Belle and spent most of the evening online looking up information about North Acres. It was as sparse as expected, but nothing I didn't already know. I eventually managed to get some sleep, only to be immediately woken up by a knocking at my door. If it was Nikita, she'd be shouting abuse at me. So who was it? Trixie! This is important! We need to talk. It's about the King in Yellow. My blood froze. I'd completely forgotten to check up on Nikita, and by the sound of it, she deteriorated somewhat. I shouted a mess of words at her, my half-asleep mouth barely functioning. The knocking stopped. I managed to get my clothes on and open the door. Hey! Trixie, sit with me. She took a seat on my bed, the King in Yellow, clutch in her hand. I was taken aback. Nikita looked faintly repulsed by my hygiene. Nikita always looked faintly repulsed by my hygiene. She would never normally consider touching any of my stuff. Nikita, are you okay? Trixie, shut up! I'm fine. Now sit down and listen to me. I already told you this is important. She didn't look fine. She looked even worse than last time I saw her. I nervously sat down. My eyes were drawn to the closed play. It was only a book, but it seemed to suck the air out of the room. I felt cold, confused, scared. Trixie, I finished reading it. It says so much. I can't. You need to read it for yourself to understand. It's just so... I can't explain. My head's is maelstrom. But Trixie, my point is, I'm in this play. Or I mean, I can tell it's supposed to be me. Trixie, I'm the heir to the broken throne. I'm the heir to Carcosa. Oh, I feel as though whoever opens the book, the main character will be somewhat you, right? Will be the person who's reading the book. It's kind of like that one anime. I forgot what it was, but it had a blue-haired dude named Tamahome, and well, like whoever reads the book, whatever happens to the protagonist will happen to you as you read. Like when the protagonist fell in a pool of water, then your clothes will be drenched and like you'll be wet and as if you fell in a pool of water. So if something starts burning, like your clothes, the princess's clothes starts burning, your clothes will start burning as well. It's something like that. I mean, it's not exactly like this because the protagonist in the book is like Nikita said, supposed to be her. So I think this is just whoever opens the book will be the chosen one, I guess. I was dumbstruck. What was Nikita on about? She was a character in some old play? The heir to a fictional city? It was madness. Nikita, I think you need to sleep. You're not making any sense. How about you wait? No, Trixie, you're not going to get me sectioned. Don't you dare accuse me of being sick or mad or... We both know I'm smarter than you, so shut up and listen to me. Her eyes bored into me with genuine malice. She was scaring me. You know, we gotta fight back, cause I don't know. Press the issue. Let's press the issue. Nikita, I really think you need to get some help. I hate to admit this, but you're scaring me a lot. Nikita stood up in an attempt to tower me over. It only kind of worked given that she's shorter than me. I think she must have noticed because she leant over me, forcing me to lean back. It would have been kind of hot if I wasn't fucking terrified. Nikita seemed to like forcing me to subby. Trixie Glimmer Smith, shut the fuck up. Stop it. Stop talking and listen to me. Her eyes flicked to the wall. I think she was worried about people would overhear. I realized I I wasn't going to get through to her. I just have to hear her out and get her out of here. I could work out with what to do about this mess when she's back in her room. Okay. I'm sorry, Nikita. I'll listen. Thank you, Trixie. I shall continue. Well, I guess that was pointless. It was like a telltale game. Whatever you choose didn't matter in the end. I almost sighed in relief. She calmed down. She stayed towering over me, though. I think Nikita just gets off on being an authoritarian. I am the heir to Carcosa, Trixie. At first, I didn't believe it, but all the signs are there. I got this. I had it since I was born. She pointed at the white freckles on her face. You recognize them, right? The Hades, the Constellation, the internal prison of Carcosa? I gazed at Nikita's face. It was hard to be sure, but her markings were definitely familiar. I'd seen them before, in my vision of Carcosa that night in my dream. I see it. It's hard to tell. I don't know much about the stars. That seemed to placate Nikita somewhat, but she still seemed pretty unhappy with my lack of certainty. Look, Trixie, just read the play. It's not just a marking. There's so much more. I noticed she didn't give any examples. Nikita dragged my desk over to the bed. It screeched across the floor, but I didn't want to stop her. She sat down next to me again and placed the king in yellow on the desk. Read, please. You'll understand. I looked down at the play. Ever since I first laid eye on the book, it had been on the back of my mind. I wanted to read it. I carefully reached out and ran my hand across the cover. It was cold. Trixie, open it. We don't have forever. Open it. Oh, well, I don't see any other options. Do I see any other options here? No, all I see is open to king in yellow, so. A lot of time passed. Initially, I was disinterested. Nikita had obviously been skimping on sleep. A play written over a century ago did not reference her. It could not. Strangely, I remember little to nothing of the play's content. It seemed to pass through my mind like wind. While I remember a little, in my mind I still see the black stars hanging in the sky, the rolling clouds breaking against the dread of galleys of the Imperial Navy, and the terrible remains of the broken throne. When Nikita saw me finish Act 1, she spoke for the first time since we opened the play. Do you see it yet? Do you see me? No, Nikita, there's never any mention of an heir or you or anything. It's just, oh jeez, I don't even know how to describe it. What is this? Oh, I have my backpack on again. What are you saying? You can't see me? Can't you read? She wrestled me for the book. My desk toppled over into the struggle. I needed the play. It was mine now. Give it to me, Nikita. I realized I let go to shout at her. I quickly grabbed it again, but it was too late. Nikita shoved me and I tumbled on the floor. As I fell through the air, I caught a glimpse of the first line of the second act. In that moment, I saw only a blur ink scrawled onto a yellow page. I'm not even sure I truly read it, but it left an imprint in my mind nevertheless. More than anything else that happened in the next few days, no matter how bad it got, nothing compared to this. If I could destroy all the memories of this year, my new friends, my education, even my transition, I would. For an opening for that second act of the Yellow King was terrible, unlike anything imaginable. I hit the ground with a thud. My head spun and my vision blurred. A feeling of dread, the likes of which I've never known, hit me like a gunshot. My head felt light, and I raised my hands to indicate my surrender. They shook, as if I was about to faint. What I read in that book stays with me even to this day. I have no intention to repeat it here, lest rereading it bring me new, more terrible sights. The line changed everything. Nikita was right. The broken throne belonged to her. You believe me now, don't you, Trixie? Never doubt me again. Nikita grabbed a sharp knife off my desk. It wasn't super sharp, but I had no intention of finding out whether it could cut skin or shuffle across the floor away from Nikita. Now get out! Get out of here! Wait, but this is my room. I never should have left you read this. You don't deserve it. But this is my room. A small semblance of a normality returned to Nikita's face. She seemed to snap out of her fury. I needed to use this chance to calm her. Oh, multiple options. Don't get stabbed. Tried to distract her with my coursework, told Nikita I was wrong and tried to calm her down. Broke down and cried. Be a little bitch. Tell her that she was right. Distract her with my coursework. Brought up the union election. Let's try the pity route. Let's try to make her pity us, so that way she would know the course of her action. Like, she's becoming crazier now, and she finally snapped out just a little bit, so she'll know what happened. Like she now sees what's going on or what she has done. So let's try. I didn't know what to say. I just broke down in tears. You saw my calling inked into the page, Trixie. Whether you want to admit it or not, you have always known where I was headed. To Carcosa, the broken throne. My head hurt at the mention of the Forsaken City. Surely Nikita couldn't truly intend to sit upon its throne. Look, Trixie, you had your chance to join me as my underling. But it's clear the decay of this world, its silly parties and fun have ruined you. You could have shined as bright as the twin suns. Disappointing. She took off. Wait, nope, let's try that again. Good thing I saved. Where's load? Oh, here we go. Okay, let's try again. Let's try this again. This time. Nikita, wait. What about? You think I care about student politics? You saw my calling inked into the. Okay. Let's try again. Unsafe progress. So, distract her. Nikita, what about my coursework? You owe me, right? You could at least help me with that and keep your promise before you get mad at me. Little report. You could do it yourself or perish, you pathetic little thing. Okay, let's just say she's right. Nikita, I was wrong. Please, just put away the knife and calm down. You're scaring me. It was too late. Nikita seemed convinced I was her enemy. She glared. Oh, so what was the point of all those three? All those four options was just pointless. Like the knife that she has. It wasn't sharp. It was dull. You saw my calling. Blah blah blah. The Carcosa. Blah. Well, it didn't matter unless the game has this fourth wall breaking option where when you pick this option, it was like, and you try to redo it, it's like, no, you picked this first one. You can't go back to do that. I don't know. She took off, running from my room with a play in her, with a weapon. I was left alone on the floor, a trembling mess. I scrambled for the door and managed to lock it, my heart thudding in my chest as my mind tossed and turned like the dread fleet an anchor. I should have been more worried about Nikita. She was clearly a danger to herself and others. All I could think about was the king in yellow. I only remember parts of the night that followed. My mind raced almost non-stop. Every now and again, I'd fall asleep only to wake up elsewhere in my room. On one occasion, I woke up in the middle of the university courtyard alone and cold, but thankfully clothed. How I had gotten through a security on the front desk, I don't know. At some point, my phone buzzed. Nikita was messaging me. Why don't you believe me, Trixie? You had your chance to serve me at the foot of the broken throne and rule the city of decay. Why did you have to ruin it? Well, I said you were right. I said you were right. Just calm down. Put the weapon away. Well, you were like, no, no, you didn't believe me the first time. No. So I feel like the book though, it makes you believe that you're the protagonist. So again, the reason why I forgot the name of her character. Trixie. The reason why Trixie didn't see Nikita was because again the story was not for her. It was not for her anymore. It was about Trixie. Like when she opened the book, the story now changed and became her. She's the protagonist of the story. So whoever opens the book will see a different story, and then it will talk about them. That's why Trixie's gone psycho bonkers, because she believes that she's the key to the throne, like the heir of the throne and all that. And she becomes mad, just like that sheep that Parsnip killed by accident. That sign, if you watch the Parsnip video, I actually found 2 secret dialogues. The yellow eye, it said something about they were the chosen one. Like as soon as they sacrificed themselves in order to serve the king in yellow, but they deformed. They turned into something horrible. And apparently it was the sheep. So the sheep summoned like some cult shit or something. And then yada yada. So I feel like though that the king in yellow is trying to control the person who reads the book. That's why Trixie became crazy and said that book belongs to me. It fills you up with greed or something. The king tattered hand will guide me, and me alone, through the path you made for me. The twin skulls will guide me to twin suns, the night that never ends, under the pale moon, under the black stars, under the bleeding sky. Wow, that's a lot of under. This is what I was meant to be always. I was meant to be the ruler. I was meant to be. Don't be scared, Trixie. You know this is right. You know this is the way things are supposed to be. You know I am kind. I will not allow the king to harm you when the gate opens. I promise. It continued that matter for a long time. Many, maybe hundreds of messages from Nikita, all completely incomprehensible. She seems set on sitting upon the broken throne underneath the rotten spire of Carcosa. My phone started buzzing, almost non-stop. Similar message poured through from hundreds of unknown members. I tried to block them, but more and more flooded through. Were these all coming from Nikita? Did she have friends? Or was this something far worse? Nikita had a weapon. She was unstable. I thought about how she had spoken earlier that night. It scared me. I needed help, but who would believe me? I didn't want to burden Belle with it. Belle seems a little too chill to be able to handle this kind of situation. No offense to her. There was the police. I didn't like them, but maybe they were my only hope. Oh. Ah! Oh! I got it! So the correct okay, so why I'm panicking right now is because it turns out I chose the wrong person to be with. I feel as though I shouldn't have hung out with Belle, nor Greg. I should have hung out with Heidi. Because Heidi, first off, she has a taser, and she's kind of a badass in a way. And I feel like Heidi would have helped me in this situation, because I remember last time in one of the episodes that when Trixie was sleeping, she remembers being with Heidi. So in other words, I'm going to a bad ending. Because all my options here is the police. Oh, so I should have picked Heidi. Okay. So what I'm gonna do this and go all the way to the bad ending, and then I'm gonna go hang out with Heidi. All right. So first, I'm just gonna save here. Did nothing. I knew the police wouldn't help. Well, I mean, I know the police won't help, but I'm just gonna phone them anyway. I knew I had to try. I dialed the police. Hey, I'd like to report a dangerous deer at my university. Wait. Who is this? I checked the number. It was definitely the police. So why were they whispering? I strained my ears, tried to pick out words, but all I could hear was faint murmuring. Hey, look, I'm trying to report an incident, so shut up. I know you guys are a bunch of homophobic bootlickers, but at least try to do your job right, okay? Hello? Oh, for fuck's sake. More murmuring. At first I thought my attempt at a feminine voice was being mocked. But then I heard the word Carcosa and my blood chilled. The police were compromised. I disconnected the call. This was hopeless. Nikita had gotten the police in this against me. I gave up. This was my problem to deal with alone. The distinct, terrifying moment I recall was maybe 4 a.m. I was lying awake when I noticed a figure stood at my door, tall, robed, and stood figure perfectly still. I held my breath and shut my eyes. I didn't know how long they were shut, but eventually I opened them again. My breathing ragged as I focused. There was no one there. I, of course, realized in the morning I was freaking out over my dress gown. I eventually managed some small amount of restful sleep, an hour or two at most. When I awoke, I could remember what happened to Nikita all too well. I remember reading The King in Yellow. After that, nothing. Parts of it seemed to be a dream, or my imagination, or something worse. There was no wall between reality and madness. I couldn't trust anything. But I knew Nikita was dangerous. I knew she was headed to the Broken Throne. Quite what that meant I didn't know, but I had to stop her. If Nikita unlocked the white gate of Hali and walked through, what could walk back out? Despite my fatigue, I somehow remembered that I need to change my estrogen patch today. Desperate to retain some degree of normalcy, I decided to get on the top of that. I've been skimping on my anti-androgen tablets too. No wonder I was a mess. My hormones were all over the place. I downed one, hoping to keep my testosterone in check. With a dark thought still swirling in my head, I managed to stagger over to my bathroom mirror. As usual, the edge of my patch were coated in gray gunk. Gross. I peeled the sticky patch off. As I usually look like shit. As usual, I look like shit. I needed a hot shower. Maybe it would wash away the storm of thoughts in my mind along the gross and gunk clunk. The eye gunk clinging to my face. The hot water made me feel a lot. Stop burping when I'm reading, K-buddy! The hot water made me feel a lot better. It was nice to curl up and rest for a while. After the showers, I slapped a new patch in my ear. You're meant to put them below the waist, but I didn't want to shave an area for it, so I'm assuming I'll be fine. I haven't died yet. I've gotten a text from Cops, the local pizza takeaway, apparently. They were blacklisting me for prank calling them. I blinked, bemused. I had no idea what it was about. Had Nikita framed me? She seemed a little beyond sabotaging my pizza reputation when she was waving a weapon at me. I figured it was a little mistake and left it. Their pizza was overpriced anyways. I've gotten another text, this time from campus security. Apparently the person next door, I think Misty Dartmouth, or someone in the museum studies course, had put in a complaint about me. Apparently I've been talking to myself all night and scratching the wall. Shame, I like her. If just because she had a nice name. I looked at the wall. It was true. It left some tiny claw marks in them. I thought my deposit was gone. Maybe I could try and buy some paint off Heidi and hide them. But right now, I have more pressing problems. By the time I was ready to face the world, it was already pretty late. I needed to do something. After last night, the last thing I wanted was to be trapped inside my mind all day. No way was I going to be in time for Belle's milk run now. I decided to message her anyways, just in case. I was right. Belle had already started her trip to North Acres, but she said she could drop around later if I wanted. I certainly wasn't too sad about not visiting North Acres again, but it would be nice to get outside. I took up her offer. Belle must have noticed I was feeling dark in my message. Dur? She seemed to be trying to keep me pepped up. It didn't really work, but I appreciate the attempt. I had a few hours to kill before Belle arrived. I briefly considered using it to try and find Nikita, hoping desperately that last night had been a bad dream. I ended up arguing on CyberBatNet for a while. Some poser was trying to claim CyberBatDigira's new uniform was out of character. Someone clearly hadn't watched episode 33. I gave them a schooling. It kept me distracted until Belle rolled up, in her float at least. She looked chirpy. Anyways, I'm gonna end the video here. Okay, we're getting into the meat of the matter, but for now, I'm just gonna lay off the game first and play some other games, because I've noticed that I've been uploading nothing but this game. I mean, I like the game, and I'm glad that some of you guys were enjoying the game as well, because I really want to know what happens next. So, yeah, right now, I'm just gonna lay off it for a while. And yeah, I kind of have to go back to this part. I have to hang out with Heidi. No wonder why. It was like, I had a dream and then Heidi was there. It all makes sense. Okay, so I feel like Heidi has like the better path, or is like the better option, because I mean, Heidi doesn't want to do that creepy shit or something, but I don't know. She feels like she'd be up to it. And again, she seems like a nice person, just a bit rough, you know. Anyways, with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked the video, thumbs up the like button to death. Become a parkour today, and I'll see you guys in the next video. That's not a picture. I crawl. Actually, let's keep my light on Hetty. It'll calm her down, but actually, it's just she just doesn't want the light to be on her face the entire time. Too bad, because this is what we're gonna be doing the entire time. Oh God!